To see examples of what we talked about on this episode, along with further information, go to bunchofdorks.com.
Welcome everyone to
Two Dimension Podcast,
the comic book podcast
with no direction. Two Dimension. Two Dimension.
What's up, everybody? You know that song? You know this voice? It's me, Rook, and driving right now, the one and only Don Moore.
Hello, everybody.
It's an exciting episode. We are on the way to the comic book shop for
Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
I'm even more excited because I thought I was going to be going alone. And that's what happened last year because it was Rook's birthday. Happy birthday tomorrow, I think.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
But, Dallas couldn't make it because of all the obligations he's got.
I know.
So I was planning myself. I had mentioned to Rook a long time ago, and he goes, yeah, I saw that. We didn't think, nobody knew if there's going to be another Free Comic Book Day because the sole distributor, I guess, has gone bankrupt, and now there's other distributors.
I know. With Diamond going under, it really came into question what was going to happen this year.
Exactly.
And, I mean, when I started seeing local comic shops posting that they were doing it, I was like, oh, wow, really? So, here we go, man.
Yeah, and then Rook sent me a note, and thank you. It made my week, because he says, so what's the plan on Saturday? All right. I was doing the Steve Martin dork dance all through the house and stuff, irritating my wife. One thing I didn't understand about Free Comic Book Day was Diamond would post the free comics. They had, I guess, the gold level, the silver level, and I don't know. But I wasn't really interested in anything they posted. And but when I go to Free Comic Book Day, there's all kinds of free comics that, I get excited about.
Yeah.
But they don't show them on the Diamond page. And I didn't realize that other publishers do their own.
Oh, yeah.
It has the Free Comic Book Day, logo on the top.
Yep.
But I didn't know that other ones. Anyway, last year, I was kind of excited because Fantagraphics is doing a Marvel hardback, but it's work by like Howard Chaykin and some of these others, their Marvel work. And they were going to do a free comic for that. But they ended up pulling it before it was done. I guess because of the whole Finasco. So I don't know. I have zero idea what's coming out for Free Comic Book Day this year. But
you know what? I don't either, but I don't care. Right now at this point, I think it's just fun to go back to the comic book shop, have the Free Comic Book Day experiences again, the fact that other distributors were able to step up and take care of this awesome annual event for the community. I think that's great. And also, we're on our way to Yancey Street Comics, Yancey South, in is it Oldsmar or I think it's technically Oldsmar, Florida.
Well, no, he's in Tampa, but across the street is Oldsmar.
Oh, is that how it works?
That's what he told me.
Okay.
He says we're actually Tampa, but right across the street's Oldsmar, and because I always saw their address was Tampa, and I couldn't find it because it was actually in Oldsmar. And I thought, what? Well, it's still Tampa, but yeah, it's way off in Tampa. Tampa's kind of an odd place. You go up, 275, and I had a friend of mine from the Navy that lived out in Tampa, and my wife and I would drive up 275. We'll be here in a minute. Well, then you get off 275 and you drive forever down all these regular roads. There's no cross highways anywhere. Oklahoma, Texas, California, they're all cross highways, so you're there in a matter of seconds, but not Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah.
We turn at the light.
Yeah, we're gonna be turning at this. We're gonna turn right at this light.
Rook is trying to give me hand signals.
Yeah.
And so basically,
Y'all just gonna have to forgive us. We're gonna do directionals and everything during this. And Dallas is gonna have a nightmare editing it, but we love you, man.
Yeah, Rook is trying to conduct, and I'm a tone deaf musician, so. But no, it's exciting. It's more fun when it's with your friend.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I hope when you're listening to this, you enjoyed your free comic book day, and if not, I'm sorry that we're making you feel bad that you missed it.
Turn it right here. So, and this year, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't have anything, like, I went and checked my Invincible graphics to figure out, like, where I left off so I know where I can pick up if I find any. But other than that, I don't really have, like, if I find those, cool. If not, hey, I'll find something else,
Oh, yeah, well, you saw what I did last time we went.
Yeah. Is that a Santa Claus? That is a Santa Claus. I feel like I need to take a photo of this because y'all don't believe that we're...
Look at that. Oh, it's a yard sale.
Oh, that's why. I get it now. The weird things you see driving around this area.
Yeah, it's like Edward Scissorhands.
Well, I mean, they did film that movie in Pasco County. Or was it Pasco, or was it... It was somewhere near here.
It was near here. As a matter of fact, the director that Dallas and I worked for, he lived in that neighborhood.
Oh, no kidding.
And I guess he'd never seen the movie, but he's telling us. This guy, he was great. He was a great boss. He was great problem solver, good communicator. I really liked him a lot. But he, one time he's wearing a red polo shirt, and I just made a comment about you got to be careful. He didn't understand the Star Trek red shirt reference. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're working in graphics and you've never watched Star Trek. He had zero clue. So that's the kind of human he was.
Yep.
Nevertheless, I still liked him. But one time after that comment, he was talking about to a couple other guys I work with that he lived in the neighborhood that they filmed Edward Scissorhands. Now, he moved in after that, but he said that the movie company paid to paint the houses to be the color of the movie.
Yep.
And then after that, they came back in and painted everybody's house the way that, they wanted it. Well, that's something. So yeah, it was filmed somewhere in the Tampa Bay area, but I don't remember where.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where, but I know it was somewhere. Probably not Pasco. It's kind of fun. We're downtown last night in Newport Richey. Visitor that we had in town said that it reminds him of Portland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it reminds him of Portland. He said we have just the starting edge of the Portland weird starting up, and I was like, I love that. I want to push that. That would be awesome.
I was driving with my brother-in-law from San Francisco to Whidbey Island, Washington State. And we drove at night. Long drive. And we drove by Portland. We didn't stop. But Portland is huge.
Yeah.
And at night, it looks like Korea.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Busan, Korea when I was in the Navy, which I absolutely loved. And it's a mountainous place. The whole city's on a mountain by the sea, which I thought was beautiful. But I had to go back to ship. I had duty one day, and I was on a sponson watch. And you just see the city at night all lit up on the mountains, and that's what Portland looks like. It's just, when I told that to my two brother-in-laws who were both in the Navy, or were in the Navy. And I said, we drove by Portland. I said, Portland looked like Korea at night. And they both immediately, like they shook their heads like, they saw it too.
That's funny.
So, I've never been to Portland. My daughter, when she was in college, was wanting to move to Portland because of that TV show Portlandia. And she was religiously watched it. Watched a couple episodes with her, and I thought, wait a minute, I thought they were dentists. No, it's different every time. Wait a minute, what?
We're going to want to be on the right hand over here.
Okay. But well, while we're driving, we're talking about Free Comic Book Day, but I brought something that I want to talk about. Called Grickle. Funny story with this guy. I found him on Facebook. I never heard of him, but he had a site, I think it's called Grickle, a Facebook page. He's always posting comics. Now, his comics, he likes frogs. He draws a lot of frogs. Even when he doesn't draw frogs, a lot of them kind of have that Muppet-looking frog look. One of my favorite comics, there's a frog in a coffee bar sitting at the counter drinking a cup of coffee, or standing at the counter. I can't remember exactly how it went. And there's a witch that walked in the coffee bar. And they made a comment about it's uncomfortable because I guess she's the one that turned him into a frog.
Oh, jeez.
And I can't remember how the comment went, but it was something. It was hilarious and understated. And I thought that's really neat. Anyway, just a lot of. I'll make Star Wars reference. He's drawn Kermit the Frog, but they're neat. Anyway, I was at Nerd Out Comics and I found this, and I absolutely love it.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, this is really neat. I love the simplicity. The art style is great, but it's just the first couple pages. I'm like, whoa, what the okay. And then it gets to the end, I'm like complete inconsequential endings. Like there's no consequences there. I was surprised by how long that first sequence was. I mean, because like I'm like, well, wait a minute, what is going on? Like you're describing shorts, and I'm looking at this going long form, going a couple pages.
Well, yeah, the ones he's posting on Facebook, they're panel illustrations, like you'd see in New Yorker or any of that, or you know.
But in here, in these are a couple pages each one.
Oh yeah, they're sequential, and some of them have like 15 panels on a page.
Yeah.
But Grickle is a guy, he has a friend, and the friend is basically getting him into trouble, and they're really douchey. And you're thinking, one, Grickle, I guess, is kind of stupid. You know, he doesn't seem like stupid, he just seemed like his friend can manipulate him, and his friend's kind of sinister. But I absolutely love that. I was happy to find it. He's got other books, but I guess these were kind of, somebody published them, but they're kind of more of a under the table self-published thing.
Yeah, it's Alternative Comics is the pressing on the back and spine. It's got a barcode and everything, but yeah, there's nothing, no advertising stuff inside or anything like that. It feels very self-published, publishing Alternative Comics, you know.
Now he has other books, and they are, I guess, I hate to say the word, but more big time.
Yeah. Well, I like this. This is nice size. It's easy to hold. I mean, I saw you move this earlier when I got in the car. I thought you just had like a notebook. You know?
Yeah.
So I should have known better. How many more comics you got over there, Don? Oh, geez. He's reaching, people. He's reaching.
I'll let you.
Oh, okay. All right. He gives me a couple to choose from. I mean, how can I sit here and not let you read about one of your talk about one of your favorites?
The Rocketeer, The Island. That one, it's a new series. Now, I don't get every Rocketeer series that comes out, but this one...
There are police reported ahead.
Thank you, robot lady. This one, they go to Skull Island. King Kong,
really?
Which is my favorite. And Popeye and Tintin are in it. Now, Popeye and Tintin both entered the public domain.
Yep.
And I guess this year or last year, it's sometime recent. But I was surprised because, you know, Popeye is a trademark, the name.
Yeah.
And it's the Popeye from 29 when he started. But they refer to him as Popeye and Tintin. Yeah, there's Tintin
Yep,
down there.
there's Tintin.
I don't know. It was kind of neat. I just got the first issue. I'm guessing the second issue's out, and I just haven't made it back to the other side of Tampa. But I don't know. It was fun, and they're gonna meet up with King Kong. The art style is good. It's kind of a little more simple, cartoony than you're used to for Rocketeer, but I don't really mind it.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's also reminiscent of like James Bond Juniors. I remember getting years ago.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like the immediate art style that I go to looking at this, and it's a solid art style. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was happy. But yeah, I don't know. All the things I like Tintin. I love Popeye, Rocketeer, King Kong. I mean,
so is this supposed to be Betty Page?
Yeah.
Do they actually say it?
In the comics, yeah, she's Betty. I don't think they ever call her Betty Page. She's Betty. Have you ever read the Rocketeer?
Oh, hello, Betty. Yep. I read it. I read bits and pieces of it, parts of it, like as a kid and stuff.
Okay.
Nothing that like stuck with me solid.
I didn't know who Betty Page was when the Rocketeer came out in 82 or 81, 82, and that was his girlfriend. She was trying to be an actress, and she was doing art photos and stuff. And Rocketeer, Cliff the Cord was chasing after her. And then I started hearing about the Betty Page, and I guess I can't remember if it was Still Pacific or it was Eclipse, but they put out the comic shop I went to in San Diego had it. They stuck it in my bag, but it was on cardstock. It was black and white. But it was a cover of Betty Page being tied to a stake, and they had all these, African tribesmen, but they were racist. They looked like
oh yeah, it was that. Yeah, I know what kind of style you're talking about.
But it's kind of a Frazetta, Al Cap looking, Little Abner style.
Yep.
And it was incredible. But it was Betty Page, the Betty Page. Well, I didn't know the Betty Page until he finished that first Rocketeer story. And he finished the first Rocketeer story, and they put it in that really nice graphic novel from 1986 or 85. And they had a picture of her, and they were talking about Betty Page. What? Well, next thing you know, she came to the mainstream. He basically liked Betty Page and put her in the comic and basically brought her back into public attention. And they became friends. There's a documentary. It was on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll link it to the blog. But they tell the whole story of Dave Stevens, which is really fascinating. But I guess they found Betty Page. And then at one point he found out that she was down on her luck, and so he was buying her groceries, taking her to the doctor.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then at one point, I guess she was kind of upset that there was a guy I worked with that, I guess from Rolling Stone magazine or something, he saw a thing where you could send in your address, and this is back in like 1990. You can send your address in, and they'd send you all these circulars. A lot of them were from comic books, previews, fantagraphics. And he'd bring them in, the little catalogs of all the stuff they printed, and he was showing them to me. But one thing he kept coming back, he says, "Who is this Betty Page?" And I said, "Well, I guess she was some kind of model, but not to explain about the Rocketeer, but there was like, it seemed like 15 Betty Page magazines and books."
Yep.
And she was everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And I guess, anyway, the real Betty Page realized this, and she was wanting money. And Dave Stevens is paying out of his pocket. Other people were saying, "You're insane," but he was giving her money out of his pocket as a licensing because he put her in the comic.
Yeah. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. That's one of the things I always talk about with, like, the fact that I love indie is I'm putting the money in the pocket of the people who actually create it and everything, you know. And it's one of the things that I really like the fact that I now see Bill Finger's name on every Batman thing done.
100%.
You know,
100%.
it's like seeing the proper credit given to the right person. You know, I mean, if you're gonna use the likeness and the look of someone, you better be paying them somehow. You know, I mean, it just
100%.
yeah.
But that's and if anybody doesn't know this by this time, the Rocketeer was actually Dave Stevens. He was drawing himself as Cliff Secord.
Oh yeah. Come on.
And Peavy, you know, the mechanic that was his friend, that was Doug Wildey, who created Johnny Quest. So Dave Stevens was his assistant for at Hanna-Barbera on the Godzilla cartoon and some other stuff. But anyway, on here, and this is something that gets under Rook's skin, but I have a facsimile of the first Mad magazine, or Mad comic. Now, I bought this a couple of years ago. Look at the printing.
That's cool. You know, no, it's not that I have a problem with these books. I have a problem when these are presented like originals.
Oh, I agree.
That's my problem. No, reprint these all day long for the next and the next and the next generations of readers, 100%. But don't present them as originals.
100%. But that one, I've actually never seen a real EC comic. I've seen reprints. Now, Russ Cochran was reprinting all the Mad stuff, EC stuff, in black and white, which were nice. The Mad magazine, I guess the first time they did it was in 73 or 74, but they had Alfred E. Newman on the cover with a flat top. It was from the 50s, and I guess it was a big super special, and it was reprints of all the late 50s, early 60s stuff. And they had a comic with that cover inside it. I didn't know Mad had been a comic, but they had that cover, and they had basically stories from different issues of the comic. But I never seen the actual complete comic. When I bought that, I bought it in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I remember the guy at the counter goes, "Oh, don't you wish we had the first issue, the actual first issue of it?" Well, no, because I would be scared to read it. I'd rather have something I can read at. But the color and the printing of that,
Yeah.
that's some of the best printing I've ever seen in a comic. And the colors, and if that's what they were getting in the 50s, that's something.
It's awesome. Yeah, the printing. I mean, look how vivid on Blobs when you get to that story. That just jumps off that page.
Hollywood. Yeah, the first one with all the dark blues and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That one just gets me. Marie Severin colored all that stuff.
Yeah, these are gorgeous. They really are. Yeah. Well, what's funny is this is going to end up someday in a collection, much like that Tales from the Crypt #1 I found. That was such a glorious moment and such a humbling moment following.
You know, that's something I never thought of. I was always happy to actually get something that I could keep and read. But ElfQuest.
We're going to be coming to an offset. Yeah,
right here?
Not here, but we're going to be drifting off.
All right, I'm going to go in the same.
Right, yeah.
ElfQuest in the late 70s.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I was at the Wizards Book Den in Wichita Falls, Texas, city of my birth. And the woman mentioned stuff about Wendy Pennine and her husband. What are you talking about? And she looked at me and said, "You don't know ElfQuest?" So I got the second, third issue. I was happy. She goes, "I'm going to do what I can to find you the first issue." Well, she did, and sent it to me. But the first issue was actually printed on little newsprint, little tiny, with a newsprint cover, and they weren't happy about it. It was some publisher. So they left and started self-publishing, and it was the big magazine size with the beautiful pastel color covers. Well, there was some, I think it was that video show I was talking about, Matt, with the 4Ts. I think he was telling the whole story about Quest. But they said Richard
I'm
Penny.
taking this to the right.
Beautiful. Richard, a lot of the collectors were upset that Richard Penny, the husband, started reprinting doing new printings of the issues.
When we hit the exit, we're going to go left.
Okay, thank you. But the collectors were upset about it. Well, I wasn't, because that meant you could get their evergreen.
But, you know, the problem is that years ago, and this, when you reprinted something, the idea was that the value of the original went down because there's more of them out there and available to read.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's this fascinating thing that happens that when you republish something, reprint it, or represent it in a TV media, it just turns the original into that much more of a valued object because people want the originals now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember you were talking about Chew, because I had read Chew on
Right.
in the trade, and you said that the first issue was up, and you sold it, and I'm happy for you. But I was thinking, why would you want that? Because you can get it anywhere. But yeah,
Well, but it had, I think, at least 3 reprints, and at that moment, it was being optioned for a TV series by one of the networks. So the value of the first printing number 1 was like $300, and I had number 1 and number 2. So, matter of fact, hilariously, when I handed it to him, he looks at me and goes, "I sold these to you." I was like, "Yep." That was funny. We were both laughing at the end. So, but that's the neat thing. It's like somebody asked me, I think just last night. He was like, "Oh, you like The Boys?" And I was like, "Do you want to talk about the comic or the TV show?" And he goes, "It's a comic book." And I went, "Yeah, I have it." He goes, "Can I borrow it?" I went, "Absolutely not. I have the originals." And he goes, Oh, how much are those? I was like, "I have no idea, but I'm not letting anybody borrow them now."
Is The Boys, is the show different than the comic, or are there differences?
Oh, yes, definitely. We're going to want to get towards the right, but not for 3 miles,
Okay.
or almost 4, or 3.5, actually.
Okay.
Y'all can tell what a great navigator I am. I'm used to just driving myself.
Oh yeah, it's true. I live on the other side of the bay. I live in St. Petersburg, so Tampa, to me, this whole area is, I'm blind. Even though I do go to Yancey Street South, I don't go from this direction.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a completely different thing coming from a different direction. I mean, I did it for years, living out where you just got me from, coming out to this area for shows. There was a couple of seminars and classes I took out here. Then I went to college in Tampa, and I mean, yeah, to and fro, it's just like you can have a completely different driving experience in this area depending which direction you come from. I remember driving by collectible places going, "Holy crap, I never knew that was there." And then I would go, "Oh, I've never driven down this road this way."
To me, that's the beauty of not really knowing where you're at. You just find stuff you weren't looking for.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one in this pile that I handed to my friend
Yes.
is a book that the store gave it to me, or sold it to me, but I really didn't want it. It's Usagi Jimbo.
I really didn't want it.
Well, I didn't plan on buying it. This isn't by Stan Sakai. This is by 2 other guys. It's Kaito 84, and it's Usagi Jimbo and his cousin, who is a character that I absolutely love. And
In 1984.
which is the greatest year I've ever had in my life so far. I saw the world. I met my wife. The comic books were awesome. it was greatness. Anyway, so
I
that
was 4 years old.
I did a lot of living when you were 4, man. But anyway, I'm so glad the store gave it to me. If I didn't have a subscription to the store, I never would have picked that up off the rack.
This is pretty neat. I mean, like,
It
I
is neat.
was kind of like, I don't know about Usagi in, like, you know, modern time and stuff. Like, yeah, I saw him with the turtles and everything, but this is actually pretty cool.
One thing,
I like the fact that they kept it not like him in Human World. Like, everybody is still an animal.
yeah. One thing about Usagi Jimbo, he did Space Usagi, which was an ancestor, but all the characters were the same. I don't know how you say her name, Tomoe.
Well, I'd have to see it. I can't remember.
All those characters are in it as different, names and stuff. But I really enjoyed that. And he used to have a backup ship called Nelson the Ground Thumper, I think. And he put them in one of the future stories. They also did, I can't remember what it's called. It was Senso, but it's about Usagi Jimbo fighting War of the Worlds, the tripods.
Really?
And it was the Usagi Jimbo world, but it was when they were older. And Usagi's son was a samurai. I think Usagi Jimbo was married to the woman that neither one of us know how to pronounce.
Well, I can't find her name. I can't remember what it was.
It was Tomoe, I think. But anyway, he
Tomo?
I don't know.
Tomo. That's the only name. Tomo.
I thought Stan Sakai back in 1987. I thought it was Stan Saki. That's what I called him. And there's an artist I love that did Dalgota. I thought his name was Dennis Fujitake. And I found out he was
Get to the right-hand side. We're almost there, sir.
beautiful.
Past this light on the right.
Oh yeah, I know where I'm at now. Okay. But I thought it was Dennis Fujitake, and I found out he was Japanese descent. I thought, is that Japanese? Well, Brett told me it's Fujitaki. Oh, that sounds Japanese.
I don't know. I guess because I grew up around Japanese culture and things, so it's like Kyoto.
Yeah. Oh, I got. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you
Kaito.
break up the. I guess
It's Ki-I-to-O. But you can just say Kaito.
Well, this comic was robust. There's a lot of storytelling in it. Usagi is a street thief, really successful, and
it's a really cool redesign of the character too, which they give you a layout of.
And I love that. They basically at the very end they have 2 pages where the writer and the artist draw themselves in as themselves. And they're basically thanking you for reading the issue, and then they take you through this journey. And I already loved them, but I love them even more now.
Yeah, but you can get you get this drawing panels of the 2 characters, Kyoto and Yukichi, and it's really neat to see it. I love the way the sneakers, the pants on
Yeah, it goes well with.
Yeah, they really designed some very cool looks for the characters. But, that was one of the things. Usagi Jimbo was always such a cool freaking design in my eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
I remember, like, Ninja Turtles action figures. I held on to my Usagi longer than any of the others. And I don't know what finally made me get rid of it, but I did. All right, we are here.
We're here. That's the end of my new comics. We'll be talking about what we buy. So, in the meantime, let's have a music break.
You can hear our most recent 20 episodes on iTunes. If you would like to hear our older episodes, you can find them on our blog. Just go to bunchofdorks.com and click on the Cyclops.
Joe Dimension can be found on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe, rate, leave a review, tell a friend, or like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the music break. We are back in the car from Free Comic Book Day. We're trying to get out of the parking lot, so bear with us here just a minute. Lots and lots of cool stuff. And I only spent $50. I love Free Comic Book Day.
It was a busy.
Yeah, we want to get U-turned.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought we were going back that way. All right. No, that was a busy.
Yeah. First thing you noticed was no boxes out front.
Yeah.
It was supposed to rain today. Still good.
Well, it's going to rain, I think, around 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it is muggy.
Yes. Oh, it was so muggy outside. Fortunately, not a lot of setup outside, not a lot of hanging out outside, so it's right into the shop and wandering.
And busy.
Yeah.
I can't stress that. And you know, one thing I like is no matter how busy it is, everybody's so kind.
Yeah.
Like, if they think they're, excuse me, and they, jump out of the way or try to make room. Everybody was that way. Everybody was happy. Everybody was friendly. I always liked the vibe.
That is the thing that I love the most about Free Comic Book Day. Everybody's there, smiling, hanging out. You're hearing random. Did you hear the conversation going on behind us when you were going through the graphics boxes?
No, I wasn't. I heard some of the creators. The creators were behind us, and they were talking, but I wasn't.
Yeah, they were all having a conversation in regards to Daredevil, his power set, and some of the stuff they were doing with the TV series. So that's the stuff I love about this, is listening to those conversations at Free Comic Book Day.
I heard parts. I heard Daredevil, and I heard the guy. I can't remember what the thing was, but the guy said his grandmother died. And the creator said, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And it was just nice.
Yeah. No, I love hearing the conversations. I love seeing the people, the familiar faces. I mean, the guys at Yancey, they were like, "Oh, hey, welcome back. How you guys doing?" That's what I love, man. That's what I miss. It's so nice to have that.
That store, I go to it sometimes. I was going to subscribe, but I already subscribed to a store that was in St. Pete that closed. Is now on the other side of Tampa Bay. But I do like it, and I enjoy going there. But I was going to start subscribing to the Yancey. It's closer to the house than the other one. I still go there at times, and I got to know the owner. He's really, really nice, really, really interesting. And but it's not as busy as it is on Free Comic Book Day, but there are people there, and everybody kind of just jumps in and talks. It's a very nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it is, man. It's so fun to do that and hang out. I want to say thank you for coming and picking me up and bringing me with you, man.
Oh, no problem. It's more fun with friends, so
Absolutely.
I was doing it selfishly.
Dude, the Free Comic Book Day stuff. Let's talk about some of that first off.
Right.
I grabbed only 2. You were able to grab 4, but I only grabbed 2 because those were caught my interest. Another Lock and Key Free Comic Book Day. Love that.
Wait, is it new?
I don't remember this one. If I have this in my collection, I don't know. But now as I page through it, it looks like, this is just a reprint.
Okay.
That's okay. If anybody ever starts talking to me about Lock and Key, I can just hand this to them and be like, enjoy yourself. The other one I got was Masters of the Universe, but also features Dungeons and Dragons.
That's you.
Yeah. I mean, this is me in a nutshell, one book going. It's got some awesome Masters of the Universe artworks. Don't know what the storyline is. I'm just kind of paging through right quick. And then, of course, it's advertising the monthly adventures from Masters right now. Some ordering stuff. And then we get a D&D mini. So it's half Masters, half D&D. it's a split comic.
Well, it's just to let you know, give you a heads up of what's out there in case you're interested.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't do a flip printing.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. This one was from Dark Horse. I kind of wish they would have done the flip printing. I always dig that at Free Comic Book Day when they do the flip printing. But I also understand it probably makes it a little more difficult because they display two different covers. That makes it look like they have less or more or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed at the selection for Free Comic Book Day because I found sparse compared to other years. Mm-hmm. And but I made myself get 4 comics. I went through all of them because someone thought, I'll check this one out. No, I'm not interested in this one. So I also had comic shop news.
I missed that.
I asked at the counter where you're paying, can I take one of these? Oh, please do. Okay.
Mask. Mask roars back. I've been seeing that all over the place lately.
But it's I've never seen it at that store. Usually when you go to a store, they just put it in your bag.
Yeah.
They had a stack of them, and I noticed they didn't put it in your bag, so
nice.
I asked to take it.
Yeah, I always got a kick out of going through these and just seeing what the upcoming is and everything.
Yeah, but now they're all 4-color.
Yeah, I know, right? Nice, like gloss print, not that newspaper print.
Nice. Richie Rich.
Rich, hooked on comics.
One of my personal faves. Nice. Anyway, the first Free Comic Day I got was Journey to the West.
Oh, awesome.
That was in the kids section. There was a girl there that was pointing out to us in the line that they had on the left was the kids comics and on the right was the adults. And I was just kind of joking. I said, if you're an adult, can you still get a kids comic? She was joking, and the guy in front of me said, usually those are a lot more interesting. But the Journey to the West was in the kids section. That was the first one I got, and mostly it's because of it's always fascinated me. I didn't know much about it, but when we had was it Zale
New on for Monkey.
Yeah, for Monkey. She mentioned that we were familiar. I says no, because honestly, I don't feel like I am. But I was mentioning that Mark Saltzman book, The Laughing Sutra. She said that's the story of Journey to the West.
Yep.
Well, what he did was he was telling the story, but it was basically a monk whose master gave him the Journey to the West story. And all he did was he was missing the point because he complained about how whiny the monk was. He liked the monkey and the adventures, but the monk was so whiny. And then basically he goes on a journey for his master, and he meets this old Chinese general who turns out he's actually the monkey, but he's the human. And it's the same thing. He's all whiny, while they're going through this stuff, as I would be too. When I was telling the story, like I said, Zio said, well, that's the Journey to the West. Well, inadvertently, I guess I'm sort of familiar because...
You actually are. It's really interesting how many people are familiar with the story but don't realize it. It's been redone and retold in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So
there's it was a Chinese show about the Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
And Alan Davis, one of my favorite cartoonists in England, he was a massive fan of it. They never showed it here anywhere I've lived at. But a lot of people are familiar. I'm still not going to say I'm familiar with it because I've never actually read the story. I've read, like I said, I read the Mark Saltzman. Stephen Chow did a movie, I can't remember what it's called, but it was basically Journey to the West, but it wasn't exactly the same from what a little bit I'm familiar with. So anyway,
nice.
I got the comic.
That's a cool book.
And that one piqued my interest. I like to find stuff that I've never seen, and I kind of like that. it's sloppy.
It's got a sloppy style on the first storyline, but I mean, it's interesting.
I don't particularly like sloppy, but for some reason that just appeals to me. I like the color.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing. I have no idea what the comic is, but
Want to get it over in the right lanes.
Alright. But I like to find stuff that I'm not familiar with that still piques my interest.
Yeah, the second story is interesting.
Oh, that's neat. I like
One
that.
guy's got like this big helmet thing on. You don't have to get over like right away. But
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the Turtles for some reason.
yeah.
It was that car. Alright. Here's another one.
Energon Universe. Oh, this is the Mask Transformers mashup. I missed
Oh, is
that
it?
on there. Yeah.
Well, I'll take that one. Because I just got it because I wanted to get 4.
Nah, this is actually this might even be like Mask G.I. Joe Transformers, but it looks like it's just Mask.
That's a reinterpretation of the old thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Mask, when they advertised the toys on TV. There wasn't a cartoon yet. Well, they advertised the toys, and then a guy in my shop,
Get over when you can.
he read comics like I did, and I think he was on restriction, and so he couldn't leave the shop. He'd gotten in trouble.
Right.
But I went to the comic shop and I brought him the comics he wanted me to bring, and one of them was the new Teen Titans when Marv Wolfman and George Perez were doing it. And he was excited to get it, and while he's reading it, he got mad because right in the center they had stapled a Mask preview inside it.
Oh,
and
really?
I just remember I hate this, and he just pulled it out of the comic. And I said, I hate it when you do this. And am I getting on this road here?
To the right here? Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at this comic as
Oh,
we're
you're
talking
fine.
and not paying attention to the road. Yeah.
But, no, like I said, Mask, it wasn't something I ever knew or anything. I just remember Derek tore it out of the comic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I always liked the Mask. Well, I mean, I was a big Transformers fan,
Right.
so Mask was like human-sized Transformers, So.
Well, you also remember that you guys were kids when that was out. You were the age, and
we were exactly the
Yeah.
demographic. Exactly the demographic.
And the last one I got, and I hate this character.
Why?
I hate Garfield.
Oh,
The cover catches me. I'm going to tell you why I hate Garfield. I was a big fan of Fat Freddy's Cat, from the Freak Brothers,
yep.
the underground comic. Friends of mine had it. They all loved it. One of my best friends, his family owned a massive bakery in Oklahoma City. And in the bakery, I was there one day, and I was going through the back, and there was a page. The Fat Freddy's Cat's comics were smaller than a normal comic. And he had a page torn out, and it was just, had one of those thumbtacks, push pins, stuck on the shelf with that cartoon hanging. And basically it was the cat went to sleep on top of a building. And I can't remember what he was doing, but the last panel, the cat was looking at you with a thought, walking away, going, "Never go to sleep on top of a bakery." And I thought it was funny, and come to find out, my friend was the one that put it up there. But the cat seemed like a cat, as we say all the time. I'm not a cat person, but it was funny. It was kind of shows what cats are and why I don't particularly care for them. But anyway, I'm in college, and Garfield is huge. I mean, Garfield, you couldn't be bigger than Garfield. And there was guys in the dorm that had all the little skinny books of Garfield, and Garfield was everywhere. Anyway, a senior art student, who I thought the world of, she loved the comic. And, she was a cat person. And, when she found out I didn't like it, I just found it sophomoric. It was always kind of the same thing.
I mean, that's people like repetitive jokes.
Yeah, saying
unfortunately.
that. I love Gru, and Gru is kind of the same 5 jokes they always make fun of.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was explaining to me that if I liked cats or had a cat, I would understand it more because it's a cat personality. Well, that was Fat Freddy's cat, and that's what always bothered me was.
Yeah.
I didn't like Farrah Fawcett when her poster and T-shirt was everywhere because I'd argue with people that Raquel Welch was the one. Why would you care for this one with this weird teeth smile?
Ugh.
And but anyway, so I'm just telling you, I'm out of sync with everybody else walking the planet. But anyway, I got that. I like the cover, and I kind of thumbed through it, so I got it. But I'm not a Garfield fan, even though there are times I did like it when he would jump in lasagna and his mouth was wide open. It was a 3/4 view. So there were fun things about it. Anyway, I got a free comic because I couldn't find anything else in it.
That's too funny, man. Too funny.
And out of the $5 trades,
oh yes, the copy of Brain.
they have a hardback copy. It's shrink wrapped. And
Yep.
so I read the first issue. I really wanted to get the other ones, and now I did. And I was jumping up and down.
Don's got like 3 of them in his hand, and I'm like, how many do you need?
I was trying to get Ruck to take
He was trying to get me to take one, and honestly, if I knew my bill was going to be as cheap as it was, I probably would have, but I'm going to be overleft. I probably would have bought it if I knew I was getting away with it as cheap as I got.
If it was Dallas, I would have had him in a headlock trying to make him get it, but I'm afraid of Rook, so I didn't do that. If it was a lesser human, I would have jumped on the case, but...
this is going to be a good read for you, man. I can't wait to hear what you think of the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm happy. I was, like I said, I had a great time there. It was fun, but I was a little disappointed. There was only 3 $5 trade boxes, and they weren't full.
Well, it's stuff that we've seen before, but the newer stuff put in. I mean, that's the trade boxes. That's the back stock.
Well, before they had so many, but and I found this in the $5 trade.
Lazarus Risen.
Now
this is a issue 2.
Yeah, I found Lazarus. I think. I was in Oklahoma one year, and I was at Half Price Books, and they had the first 2 Lazarus trades. I didn't know what they were, but I thought they looked nice. I really I liked the title design, and I thought, well, the artwork isn't bad. Well, turns out it's Michael Lark, who's one of my favorites. And anyway, I got home, I read them. This is pre-Cat days, and I thought, this is greatness. So I started going to Nerd Out. He had them. So every time I went to Nerd Out, I'd buy two trades. Mm-hmm. And the guy that runs the store was like, oh, this is a great series. Anyway, I think it was six trades. He didn't have the 6th trade. And but I bought another trade. It wasn't Risen. It had a number, Lazarus. It was, I don't think Michael Lark even drew that one. But I haven't read that one yet. Anyway, I finally got the 6th trade. I haven't read it because now we have a cat in my lap. But anyway, I saw that Michael Lark drew it, and I thumbed through it. Okay. I guess I'll have other books to find. So that was my free comic book day adventure.
Nice. Got some books. Had some. I mean, that's the best part about free comic book day. Just randomly going through whatever box you happen to walk up to, and you might find something, you might not. But, and then you get to see people. You get to talk to artists, creators. It's fun, man. But then you get to find cool little things like these DC Compact Comics. This was interesting.
Yeah, you were more excited about that than anything I've seen you buy.
Well, so here's the thing. The first one is The Authority, Relentless. this is Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. I remember reading some of this back in the day, and I think Dallas may have talked about this on the show.
Yeah, he's a fan of it.
Yeah. $10.
Yeah.
This book was $10.
Are those in color?
Yeah.
Mm.
Look, beautiful color print. You know, it's more of a card, a lighter stock paper. It's not a gloss stock paper, but
Yeah,
I don't
but I'm not complaining
care.
about that.
They're compact. They're smaller than your average comic book. So
They're a little bigger than a manga, and they're thick like a phone book.
But that's The Authority Relentless, and then I always debate, is it We 3 or We 3?
I would say We 3, but
We 3 by Grant Morris and Frank Quietly. This is a book I know Dallas has talked about as well.
Yeah, he's a big fan of both of those.
Big fan of both of these, yep. So, I'm looking forward to reading both of these. So, We 3 I have not read ever, so that's going to be fun. The Authority I read years and years ago, so. But no, it's I like the compact size. I actually do.
Yeah. You were talking about Usagi Jimbo before the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Massive fan. I didn't buy all the Fantagraphics books because half of it was another cartoonist, and they were always, I didn't care for. And the books were, comics were 75 cents. These were $2. So, I didn't snag them. Anyway, the trades were out, and I thought, well, I'll get the trades. Well, the trades were smaller.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. Well, I eventually changed my mind and got them. Enjoyed them immensely. They weren't that much smaller. Lone Wolf and Cub, everybody knows I'm a massive fan of. First comics were putting those out. That was my introduction, and they were standard comic size. They were square bound, but they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, when Dark Horse got the license, they put all of them out, which is awesome, but they were about the size of a Big Little book. They were thick and they were really small, and I was upset. Anyway, I was talking to Brett because he had one. I hadn't seen them in person yet. But Brett said, they're a little bit bigger than a Big Little book, but close to the same size. If you don't know what I'm talking about, before my time, they had these little square books, and one page was a drawing, a color drawing, and the other side was text. And they had, the comic strips, Felix the Cat, Mickey Mouse, everybody. When I was growing up in the 60s, they had them at discount stores, I guess a newer iteration. And the first one I got was Frankenstein Jr. from the Hanna-Barbera series. And I remember I bought it, her dad bought it for me, and he was telling my mom, says, I've never seen a book where every page has a drawing in it. Eventually I got a Space Ghost one and Aquaman. But I guess that was, they were bringing them back. But anyway, the Lone Wolf and Cub books are a little bit bigger than that. But Britt said, I thought the size would bother me, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got it, and I find it didn't really lose anything. And that was what the writer preferred, was that format.
Yeah.
But it was smaller than a normal manga.
Yeah, just holding this in my hand, I mean, it feels fine. It feels great.
It actually, I'm looking at it. We're at a stoplight, but I'm looking. It doesn't bother me. It's not.
Yeah.
The artwork is involved, but it's not losing anything.
The print work, both of these, the printing, the color is so vivid. The printing is really well done.
Now, I think it was Humanoids put out the Inkle. They had basically, I don't know what they call it, an omnibus, one of those big giant ones. But those things sold out. It was sold out before I ever heard of it, and I was upset. But good catch, man. But they also put out a standard Inkle. It was a hardback, but it was smaller than the magazine size that the Inkle was always printed at. I bought it. And Scott Connor and I were talking about it. That one really lost its impact. I mean, it was beautiful, but for some reason, I didn't care for it so much. I ended up getting the massive slipcase, oversized thing, which, in that case, the Inkle kind of needed to be a bigger size to me. But no, those are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they're going to be a fun read. And they had a couple different things in these sizes, too. There was like Why the Last Man. Hold on, I think they have an advertisement in the back of one of these. Yeah, Why the Last Man, Wonder Woman Year One, DC New Frontier. They've got a few different ones.
Those are good because if you've only heard about the book and you're interested in reading it, normal people, unlike us, aren't going to
Yeah, they're not going to track down the
single
original solo issues in order to find out like what happened in a storyline 20 years ago that they could spend $10 at this size.
Yeah, and they don't want to sit there and spend a lot of money on a giant, absolute, omnibus. And yeah, those are great to get if you're not familiar with the story or you're wanting to read it. I think those are excellent.
Absolutely they are.
And the Authority, before we started doing the show, when Dallas and I found out we liked comics, he brought in an Authority trade. I don't know which one it was, but comics had changed a lot. I mean, there was no store in my area, so I only got stuff over the summer when I went somewhere. And I was basically just trying to track down Love and Rockets and Usagi Jimbo and some of this stuff I normally read. Mm-hmm. But by this time, Civil War came out. When I'd hear about this on a podcast, the podcast is new. And the guy kept going on about Civil War, and I thought, they did a comic book about the Civil War? Well, I didn't know it was between Captain America
Civil War, yeah.
But,
so not this light, but the next light, we're going to want to turn left.
Oh, okay. But, everything, the Authority was kind of like all the DC hero anagrams, but they were, on steroids.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It pushed the boundaries for a lot of people of what they thought. I think a lot of the dark hero left here idea was born out of the Authority stuff. We started to see more and more dark hero concept, like heroes are flawed, messed up, screwed up people after the Authority came out. That was like a turn point in storytelling for me. I started noticing more stories about like heroes screwing up, heroes were not good people deep down, that kind of stuff after Authority.
Yeah, how to say this, they were more human.
Flawed. They were naturally flawed people, but also some of them were really messed up.
Oh yeah, well, in the case, there was a character, I think he was Apollo. He was supposed to be Superman. But when I saw him first, I didn't really equate him with Superman, but he was like a Greek god, had incredible blonde hair.
Yeah.
A white suit, big, strong, could fly, all the stuff Superman does. And there was another character called the Midnighter, which was a Batman anagram, but he looked really S&M.
Yeah, he did.
Which is why people refer to Batman. Howard Chaykin's always saying this. Mobius did a story for Penthouse Magazine about Batman, and it was all about that, about S&M and parent issues, which...
So, Wonder Woman is the polyamorous character. Batman is the S&M character. Does that make Superman the cuck? Let's move on from that conversation.
But in the thing, the Apollo, the Superman character, was beaten. He was bested. Mm-hmm. And they were up on the satellite like the JSA had, and he was just sitting there. And all the other characters were like, he's brooding. It's like he's bad. He's just sitting there brooding. And the Midnighter was talking to him, and then basically the Superman character had told him he gets his power from the sun, like Superman, and he's sitting there soaking in solar energy, building himself up.
Yep.
Because he's going to go back there for a rematch.
Yep.
And then the Midnighter just kind of cuddled up to him and said, "Oh God, sometimes I just love you to pieces." And so they were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting, because Superman and Batman, until the Dark Knight, were best friends.
Yep.
Which made sense. Anyway.
I know. It was a great series. It really
Yeah.
was. And that's why I had to grab it. I had to grab that thing and be like, you know what? I haven't read this in a long time.
Well, I enjoyed it. I know Dallas is a massive fan of it, and I've never, I read if somebody lent them, I would read them, but they're not something I really wanted to track down. But it is a good series. And I see you got a Ghost Rider.
Oh, actually, I got two. I grabbed the Hearts of Darkness 2 and Dragged Out of Hell graphic novels from the more recent Ghost Rider runs. I think I may have these in solo issues, but I don't really feel like pulling them out and reading them. So I have this now. I can read these.
Nice.
And I actually grabbed something brand new off the shelf. I grabbed from Midnight Factory, issue number 1, Murder Hobo.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, Murder Hobo is a D&D term for, characters, players that just kill everything they come across. I have no idea what this book's about. I just saw this cover with this old man with a backpack, a busted sword melting away, half of it inside a creature's head, hatchet, small knife, small sword, he's got a potion. This just looks like this is ridiculous and up my alley. And it's almost got like gelatinous cube vibes to the, I think that's exactly what they're trying to do with the logo, is gelatinous cube vibes with stuff floating inside of it, like skull pieces, weapons, and things.
I like the color, because the colors are all secondary colors, but they have that the blue, and the title design and the trade dress really snaps.
They actually had two different covers. This was the one I zeroed in on. And then when I picked this up, I looked over to the left and I was like, ooh, an issue 2. Oh, no, that's just still issue 1. So I was like, you know what? I really like this one. This cover really sang. I really thought this one jumped out. Would be a good read. Should be interesting.
Yeah, when I was digging through the $5 trades, Ruck came, and he was all excited about, showing me these books, and those two he was, jumping up and down about, I remember.
Yeah. I was happy. I found stuff. What's really funny is I mentioned on the way there that I was going to look at possibly like Invincible trades and stuff. I know which ones I have. Guess what? The next ones that I would need are the ones that were sold out.
Yeah.
And it's like there was like two volumes before they had the next number. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. I found other stuff. So. Oh, man.
Invincible.
Don, it's been an awesome day.
Yeah,
we're on our way to go grab some food, yeah?
Grab some food, and it should be raining here and within an hour.
Yep.
We're in a severe drought, so that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. I need this rain.
Yeah, everybody does. It's a really severe drought. It's strange. We're surrounded by water, but yet we're in a drought.
Yeah.
Well, salt water. It's not the same. So, anyway, well, listen, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. And in the meantime, read more comics.
Woohoo! Do you want to be part of the show? Draw us a fake comic book cover, and we'll use it to promote new episodes online.
If you'd like to promote your music, send us your MP3 and you can have a musical spotlight on our show. Plus, we'll add your link on our music page.
We have 3 t-shirt designs. Find them on the sidebar of the blog. Listen to the show. Wear the shirt.